All right, we got less than 2 minutes to go. Not sure where everybody is yet, but hopefully they'll get signed on here in a minute or two. Today's workout, we will use the ball and the loop band. So make sure you have a ball or something that can substitute for the ball and a loop band. I know I'm on the right link. I just don't know where everybody is. I'll give them another minute. All right, friends, it is 9 a.m. We're going to get started. My name is Coach Anna. We're going to start our bar warm-up. You will need a ball and a loop band for today's workout. So let's go ahead and come to the top of your mat. We're going to stack the palms up, relax the shoulders down away from your ears, and just begin marching in place. Knees up towards your chest. Big lift in those knees. Good. All right, now send the arms up high. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. Nice big inhales. We're gonna add a pull down with the arms. So draw the elbows down towards your hip points, squeezing through those back muscles. Right away, start to connect with your core. That means make sure you're pulling your belly button in towards your spine. You're bracing through the center of your body. And we're gonna add that torso twist. Let's take it up and over. Knee to opposite elbow. Little twist. Just that upper torso. Twist it out. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to the back end of your mat. We're gonna walk out in a plank. Come all the way out, hold in plank, and then walk it back up. Come to that forward fold, hang out for a beat, and then back out to plank. Hold for 1 beat, back up to forward fold. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Out in plank, up to forward fold. On this last time, we're gonna walk out to plank, hold it here. You can drop to the knees or stay on the toes. We're gonna float the right knee up towards the elbow and switch. Left knee, left elbow, switch. This can be done in tabletop or in a balanced plank or up on your toes. Good, big float. Opposite leg, let's do that 1 more time on each side. Float it, send it back. Last time, float and come back. We're gonna rotate onto a side plank. Bottom leg can be dropped or straight. Open to a T. Exhale, reach under. Big inhale, grow tall, reach. And exhale, underneath. Inhale to reach. Exhale, thread the needle. Last time on this side, big reach. And then come back through center. And that plank, hold on the opposite side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle. As you inhale, think about letting your gaze follow your hand. So you're lifting the chin, the chest, everything opens up. And then exhale, twist. Awesome, let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale, reach. Exhale, reach under. Last time, inhale to reach, open. And then take it back to your regular plank. We're gonna drop down to our forearms. Alternating knee taps to the mat. If you're already on your knees, you can do alternating knee lifts. Good, just pedaling those feet, switching back and forth. Forearms are down in an 11 shape. Nice parallel with the arms. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold and plank. Just tip. Just tip that tailbone forward like a little ab crunch. Tip for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and plank. Find your strongest plank here. This is it. Last bit of plank work. Lift through the abdominal wall. Open between your upper back body. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your kneecaps. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come into tabletop. We're gonna get that cat, cow stretch. Drop the belly as you inhale, look up. And then exhale, round through the spine. Nice spinal flexion. Getting your morning warm up here. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, round it out. All right, coming to a neutral spine. We're gonna flip it over onto our backside. Place the feet on the mat. Gently lean back on the elbows for a supported boat hold. Float the legs in your top. We're gonna alternate toe taps to the front edge of the mat. Tap, tap. Good, very little weight in those elbows. Your core is keeping you strong and stable. Balance, you can stay here alternating. Strengthen, kind of take both legs together. Tap down, lift up. Good, hang on to it. We've got 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Glue the legs together. We're gonna shift all the way into that right hip. Extend and bend the knees. Straighten and bend. Lift through the chest. Last 3, 2, and 1. Curl the knees in. Rotate over to that left side. Extend and bend. Keeping the legs zipped together like you have one leg. I like to call it the mermaid tail. Can you tell I have 3 little girls, but they're now all old. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. We're gonna come down onto our upper back or lower back. Upper back stays lifted. Bicycle back and forth. No girl is ever too old to be a mermaid. Keep those shoulders lifted. 1 more time on each side. Last one, we're gonna extend the arms overhead. Extend the legs, lift through the chest. Press the low back to the bottom of your mat and then slowly drop your legs down to your challenge point. Hold it here, lift the arms overhead. Hang on to it. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down for bridge. Plant the feet, lift the hips. We're gonna do bridge marches. So just drawing that knee in towards your chest. Keep the hips lifted and level. Hands at your sides. Squeeze the glutes every time you lift up. Now hold it here, just pull up and up. Squeeze the bottom of the seat cheeks. Pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay lifted. We're gonna walk out, out, in, out, in. Try to switch the leg you're leading with. So lead with the right, then lead with the left. Take them wide, then narrow. Out, out, in. 1 more time on each side. Last one, stay wide, lift the heels, hips pulse up, heels are lifted. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the heels, lower the feet. Let's take our spinal twist. Left leg goes straight and long, right knee to your chest. And then exhale it up and over. Try to keep the arms on the floor. You can tee them out to the sides. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, melt into that twist. Just feels really good on the lower back. And then slowly come back to center. Your right leg goes straight. And your left knee comes in towards your chest. Exhale into your twist. Keep the arms out to your sides, shoulders on the mat. Stay here for 1 deep breath in. And exhale to the twist. Beautiful job. Come back to center. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Rock yourself up to seated. We're gonna flip it over for push-ups. So starting in tabletop, bring your heels in towards your seat. We're gonna stagger the hands. Take it down and up and switch at the top. Down and up, switch. One elbow hugs in towards the side body. The other arm comes out for support. Make these moves intentional and slow. So slow it down if you need to. Down and up, you got it. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Take it down and up. Now both hands in tricep push-up position. Take it down for 2, up for 2. You can also do this on an elevated surface. You can come to your wall. Down for 2, up for 2. Good, straight line from the head to the tailbone. Stay with it. Let's do 2 more, we got this. Down for 2, up for 2. Down to your lowest point, hold or hover. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it back into child's pose. Bring the big toes together. Knees as wide as your mat and sink your seat towards your heels. Reach the arms long in front of you and gently let that forehead drop down to the mat. Take an inhale. And then exhale, walk the hands over to the right side, bump the hips out to the left. Lengthening through the arm and the side body. And then slowly on your exhale, walk the hands through center, take them over to the left side. And then on your exhale, sink into that stretch, bumping your hips out to the right. Take a deep breath in and exhale, walk the hands back to center. Stay here for 1 more breath in. On your next exhale, make your way to standing. Find your light set of weights. Meet me back in the middle of the mat. We're gonna start with our arm series. We're gonna add the legs as well. So this is gonna be a side lunge with a lateral raise. So start on your favorite side. You're gonna step to the side and lift the arms out. If you have knee issues and a side lunge doesn't feel right for you, you can skip the lower body or you can do a regular back lunge. Good, let's do 4 more. 3, last 2. On the last one, stick it and hold it. Just pulse up with the arms. Sink low in that lunge. Good, pull the belly button in. Relax the shoulders. Pulse up and up. Now hold the pulse. We're gonna flip the palms up and down. Flip and flip. Rotating through the shoulders and the wrists. Good. Last 2. Last one, hold the arms facing up. Bend, reach, reach. Palms facing the ceiling. Reach the fingertips wide to either side of your room. Sink that knee a little deeper. Holding in that lunge for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the arms down. Come to center. We're gonna step to the opposite side with a high row pull. Big step. Squeeze your upper back. Excellent. Breathe, breathe, breathe. 4 more times. 3. We got 2 more. You know what we're doing on that last one? We're gonna stick that landing, hold it here, and just pull up and up. Think upper back muscles, less traps. So keep your shoulders relaxed. You're squeezing those muscles between your shoulder blades, just like you're trying to hold a pencil between those shoulder blades. Lift up and up. Hold the pulse. We're gonna open your arms out to the side, back in. Open, bend. Just hinging at the elbows. Palms face the back of your room. Open, close. 2 more times. Hold the extension, just pull. Up and up. Good, keep the chest lifted. Sink that knee a little deeper. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center, bend the knees. Keep the arms lifted. We're gonna bring them in front of us for an elevated bicep curl. Curl in, extend. Option to lift your heels here. We're in a chair hold. So your knees are bent, your back is flat, just like you're sitting down in a chair. Now hold the arms at 90 degrees, just pulse, up and up. Good, hang on to it. You try to keep those elbows close together. Hug them in tight, pulse, up and up. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep them lifted out to the side, alternating overhead press. Press up, squeeze to come down. Good, make it sharp. You got it, press it all the way up and squeeze as you come down. Keep breathing. You got it, one more time on each side. Last one here, hold it 90 degrees, just pulse up and up. Excellent, reconnect with that core, pull the belly button in tight. Nice, tight, strong abs, pulse it up and up. Stay with me, pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna hinge forward, send the arms out behind you. Let's make little circles for our triceps. Arms are straight and long, palms facing in. Just circle it. And reverse, other way with your circle. Make it sharp, make it really small. Lengthen out those arms, reach really far behind you. Hold that circle, flip the palms to face the ceiling, squeeze in, squeeze in. Maybe lift those arms just a little higher. Squeeze in and in, you got it. Squeeze, squeeze. Now add a lift, 1 squeeze in, 1 lift up, squeeze in, lift up, squeeze in, lift up. We are almost there, we've got 1 more change, stay with me. Burning out the arms. We'll get a stretch after this. Hold the squeeze in, just pulse it up. This is it, last one. Pulse up and up, lengthen through your neck. Don't lose that integrity here, keep good form. You're almost there, stay with it. Lift up and up. Breathe it out, 16 more counts, you got this. Pulse up and up. A little higher, a little closer together. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Set those weights aside. Give yourself a second here to catch your breath. Grab a quick sip of water. And then meet me back in the center of your mat. We will stretch out the arms. Take a deep breath in. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms wide to open up through the chest. And then on your exhale, take one arm across the front of the body. Forearm to forearm, drop the shoulder down away from your ear and just stretch and lengthen through that shoulder. Good. And then bring it overhead. Reach your fingertips down the center of your spine and lift your elbow towards the ceiling. Take the opposite fingertips to the tip of your elbow and just lengthen through the tricep. Take nice long deep breaths here. Enjoy the stretch. Go ahead and unwind. Switch sides. Opposite arm comes across the chest. Shoulder drops down away from your ear. Stretching through the shoulder. And release. Take it overhead. Fingertips slide down the center of your back. Elbow lift high. Opposite fingertips help it out to give it a little length. And release. We're gonna interlace the hands in front of us, press the palms out to the center of your room, round through your upper back and pull your belly button in through to your spine. So you're opening up between the shoulder blades. And then release, clasp the hands behind you, open up through the chest, gaze goes towards the ceiling. Lift the arms just a little higher. And release. We're gonna shift all the way into one foot. So if you need that support, it's available to you. We're gonna kick one foot up behind us, catch the instep of your foot. Here's where we wanna warm up the front of the thigh. So rather than a quad stretch, it's a quad warm up. We're kicking out into the hand and pull back with the fingertips. Option to hinge forward here. Kick out for 3, 2, 1, and release. Switching sides. Catch the instep of your foot. Same thing here. We want to really kick out into that hand. Fire up through the front of the thigh. Pull back with the fingertips. Option to check out your balance here if you want to hinge forward. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. All right, my friends, we are going to turn to face our support. You'll need your ball for the first thigh exercise and your loop band for the second one. First exercise is a parallel lunge. Balance, you can leave the ball aside. Strength, okay, we're going to use that ball underneath our left heel. So bring it right under the heel. So you're going to stay on that tippy toe the whole time. Then take a big, generous step back with your right foot. Bend that right knee. Press your hips forward, keeping the shoulders stacked right over your hips. We're going to go all the way down and all the way up in that lunge. Let me just get a better sound than this. There we go. So we want to keep a nice, beautiful posture facing the front of the bar. So you're facing your chair or your support. Your back knee is lowering down and then bringing it back up. Remember that back is nice and flat, neutral spine. Good. Control, take it down and up. Lower and lift. Take it all the way down to that lowest point. Down and hold. Down, hold. So just a little baby pulse down and hold, hold, hold. Good. Down, hold. Hands are just gently resting on our support. Keep the abs nice and tight. Pulse it down to tempo. Down, down. Good. Little movement. Deep work in those muscles. Pulse. Down and down. Stay with it. Keep pulsing as low as you can go. Pulse down and down. We're going to add a tip. So it's one pulse, one tip, one pulse, one tip. So just gently rock that pelvis forward by squeezing your abs. Standing crunch. One pulse, one tip. Exhale as you tip. One pulse, one tip. Hang on to it. This is where it gets serious. One pull, one tip. You can do it. Hold the pulse, hold the tip. That front heel is gonna press into the ball. Press down and down. If you don't have your ball there, you're just gonna lift your heel instead. Press down and down. Use that calf muscle. Come on, make it work. Maybe sink just a little lower in your stance. Press, press. Stay with me. No, get low. Press it out. Nice work. Hold the heel press. We're gonna take it down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. I know, it feels like you can't go any lower, but you can, I promise. Down an inch, up an inch. Whew. Almost there. Down an inch, down one more inch. Just pulse press at the same time. Pulse press, pulse press. This is it, I promise. We will switch sides in 16 counts. Pulse press, pulse press. Keep breathing. Stay with me. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it. Shake out that back leg. We're gonna switch it over to the opposite side. Reset. So bring that ball underneath your right heel. Big, generous step back with that left foot. Both hips are pressing to the front of your room. You're gonna take it all the way down, all the way back up. Beautiful. Make sure your feet are not too close together. You want your legs on a train track rather than a tightrope. So if your left foot is directly behind your right, that's a little too close. Take a quick second, peek down. Make sure you have space between the stance. You want your feet to be about hip width apart. Excellent. Take it all the way down, all the way up. Good. Slow down, slow up. Shoulders stacked over hips. 2 more times. On this last one, take it down to that lowest point. Down, hold. Baby pulse. Down, hold. Down, hold. Good. Pulse, down, hold. Pulse down, hold, brace through your core. Hold, hold, hold. Stay with me. Down, hold. Now down to tempo. Pulse it down, down. Yes. Make it sharp. Little tiny movement. Big work. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I know it's hard, but we can do it. We can do hard things together. Pull, down, and down. Stay with me. You got it, girl. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We're gonna stay with this pulse and add a tip. So it's one pulse, one tip, one pulse, one tip. Get those abs working extra hard. One pulse, one tip. Good. One pulse, one tip. Stay with it. One pulse, one tip. This one is the hardest one. I know, we can do it though. One pulse, one tip, one pulse, one tip. You got it. Hold the pulse, hold the tip, front heel only. Presses down into your ball or lift off the floor if you're not using a ball. Press that heel down, down. Hang on to it. Static hold through the rest of your body. Whew. You're doing awesome. Press, press. Stay with me. Press down and down. Hold the heel press. Take it down an inch, up an inch. Lower down, lift up. Lower, lift. We are almost there. Down an inch, up an inch. Good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Pulse press at the same time. This is it. Finish it off here. Pulse press, pulse press, pulse press. And 3, 2, 1. I guess I went a little over. Oh, well. All right, go ahead and set that ball aside. Grab your loop band. We're going to step through with both feet. Bring it just above the knees. And then turn to face your bar once again. Heels together, toes apart. You're in that narrow V first position. Elevate your heels, re-glue them back together. Bend your knees and sink your seat down. We're just going to press back through the knees. Here's all your cues as you're pressing back. Crown of the head lifts towards the ceiling. Shoulders stay relaxed. Abs stay nice and tight. Low back is flat. Spine is neutral. You are pressing your knees towards the back wall by squeezing the outer thigh muscles. You are pressing your heels together, activating those inner thighs. Relax your shoulders again. Hold that press back. We're just going to tip side to side. Tip right, tip left. Shorten the distance between your hip point and your rib cage. Right side, left side. Keep those heels glued. Don't forget about your inner thighs. Everything else is still working. It's just a static hold. Tip side to side. Keep breathing. Good. Stay nice and low. Knees stay bent the whole time. Side to side. From here, we're going to tip to center and then press back through the knees. Tip center, press back. Tip center, press back. One tip, one press. Yes, beautiful. Keep those heels glued. One tip, one press. Hold on to it. Hold the press back. Just tip. Just tip. Scoop the tailbone under. Use your abs here. Your glutes should not be clenching. You should only be using your abs and your thighs. Good. Hold that tip. We're going to take it down for 2 and up for 2. Really press those heels together here. Make those legs shake. Yes, down for 2, up for 2. If you're not shaking, press a little harder. Squeeze a little tighter with those heels. Up for 2, down for 2. Hang on to it. We're almost there. We're nearly to the end. We're gonna get our thigh stretches after this one. Take it down for 2. Hold it here. Just pulse down. Pulse down. Keep those heels lifted and glued. Pulse. Pulse. We're gonna add a press back at the same time that we pulse. Pulse press. Pulse press. And this is it. This is our final one. Pulse press. Pulse press. Breathe it out. Hang on to it. You're doing great. Stay with me for 16 more counts. I know. Pulse press. Pulse press. Little lower. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, beautiful job. Set the band aside. Grab a sip of water. I'm dripping with sweat. I got the fan going and everything this morning. 2 fans going. Ceiling fan and the floor fan. It's still not enough. All right, let's go ahead and come down to our tabletop for our stretches. Just take a moment here, catch your breath. Take a big step forward with your left foot. Right knee stays on the mat. Tent your fingertips out in front of you. Inhale to lift the chest. And then exhale, walk the fingertips back. And then on your next inhale, spiral the heart up towards the ceiling as you raise your right hand and your gaze follows your fingertips. On your exhale, let's take it into a twist. Bring the hands to prayer, abs pull up and in. And we're gonna twist, bringing the right elbow to the top of your left thigh. Gaze over your shoulder at the back wall. And then come back through center. We're gonna bend the back knee. Draw the heel in towards your seat. Make sure you take all the pressure off your kneecap. We're stretching through the quad here. Option 2, swim that left arm back and draw the heel in just a bit closer if that's available to you. Some days my knees let it happen and some days they don't. Today must be my lucky day. All right, go ahead and gently release. Rock back on that front heel. Square up the hips, flexing that foot. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, melt forward. Keeping that foot flexed. Nice, big, generous stretch through the hamstring. And then point the toes down towards the mat, deep in that stretch. If splits is in your practice, here's your time to try it. But don't hurt yourself. Gently press yourself back up. Let's bring that left knee to the mat. Reset in tabletop. Take a big generous step forward with your right foot. Left knee stays on the floor. Tent the fingertips out in front of you. Inhale to gaze up as you lift the chest. And then exhale, walk the fingertips back. And then on your inhale, let the left hand lead your gaze up towards the ceiling, opening up through your heart. Your chest opens. And then on your exhale, let's come into a twist. Hands come to prayer. Abs pull up and in. We're going to twist to gaze at the back wall, taking our left elbow to the top of our right thigh. And then slowly come back through center. Bend that back knee. Let the heel draw gently in towards your seat, taking all the pressure off your kneecap. Option 2, hang out here. Or swim that little right arm back behind you. Draw the heel in towards your seat. Dropping your right shoulder down towards the top of your thigh. And then gently release that foot back down. Rock back on the front heel, square up the hips, flex the foot. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, melt forward. Feel a nice, beautiful stretch through the back of the right leg. And then pointing the right toes down, deep in that stretch. And from here, we're gonna make our way to standing. So go ahead and press yourself up. Plant the right foot. Plant the left foot. Nose comes towards your knee in a pyramid stretch. And fingertips walk you forward. We're gonna flex that flex the left foot and let the left heel lift towards the ceiling. Little pulses. Pulse for 3, 2, 1. We're gonna float that left foot down to meet the right foot. Step the right foot back. Nose towards your knee in a pyramid stretch. And then the fingertips walk you back forward. Right foot lifts towards the ceiling. Heel leads the way. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float that right foot out to the side. Take a wide leg forward fold here. This is one of my favorite stretches. Just stand with your feet as wide as you need to. Let the head drip down towards the mat. Shoulders dripping down. Take a big inhale here. And exhale. Let something go that's not serving you right now. Whether it's a thought or a clenched muscle or a clenched jaw, let it go. And then on your next exhale, generously bend the knees, slowly roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time, stacking those vertebrae and looping the shoulders up and back. Oh, we had somebody else jump on and join us. Hello, Christy, welcome. Hi, I'm Coach Anna. All right, you're ready for feet work. So go ahead and make your way to your support, your bar, your chair, whatever you are using. We're gonna place a ball behind the right knee. If you don't have a ball, you can do this without the ball. So feet are parallel, hip width apart. You're gonna fold the arms over in that semi-fold over. Soft bend in your standing leg and just begin to press your heel towards the ceiling. So we're starting with a full range of motion. Here's where we're gonna check in with our form. Relax those shoulders down away from your ears. Notice if your back arches as you lift your leg. You wanna pull the abs in tight so your low back is flat here. You should be able to place your hand on your lower back and not feel an arch. Good, now hold at the top of your lift. We're gonna lift up, up, hold. 2 little lifts and hold it. These are micro movements. Up, up, hold. 2 lifts, hold. Make sure both hips stay facing forward. Good, up, up, hold. Up, up, hold. Soft bend in your standing leg, relax shoulders. 2 lifts, hold. Up, up, hold. Good. Now up to tempo, lift it up and up. Nice work. Notice if one hip starts to drop lower than the other, you want to straighten it out. Just make sure you're not locking out your standing leg with a soft bend. Hold that pulse up. We're just going to squeeze the heel in towards the seat. These are little baby hamstring curls. Curl in and in. If you have that ball there, you're squeezing the ball with the calf muscle into the hamstring. Good. Lengthen through your neck. Check in with your posture again. Notice if anything's starting to give here. You're going to tighten it up. Keep those abs super tight. Yes. Now put it together. 1 curl in, 1 press up. 1 curl, 1 lift. 1 curl, 1 lift. When you get that lift, it's coming from your glute muscle squeezing and contracting rather than your quad forcing the leg up. We're not using the quads here. We're using the glute and the hamstring. Those are the muscles we want to fatigue. 1 squeeze, 1 pulse up. Yes. 1 press up, 1 squeeze. Hold this pulse, hold this squeeze. We're going to point that toe. Let's make little tiny circles. So you're drawing a circle with your knee. Control this movement with your glute muscle. Make it tight and small. Not your muscle, but the circle. We don't want our muscles to be small, but we do want them to be tight. Good, circle it. Yes. All right, reverse, other way. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Control, making that circle teeny tiny. Yes. Hold it center, last change, just pulse it up and up. You're pointing that toe towards the ceiling. Pulse up and up. Notice if your back is starting to arch, your muscles are getting tired here, so really be conscious of that form. Pulse up and up. Here's where it counts the most. Last 16 pulses. Up and up. Stay with me. You can do it. Here we go. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower that leg down. Remove your ball. Keep it in your hand if you're using a ball. We're going to come down to the floor. We're going to work that same side that we just worked. So bringing your left leg in front of you, or whatever leg was your standing leg. That's the leg that's going to come out in front. Then your working leg is going to wrap around you. So both knees are bent at 90 degrees. Ball, if you're using one, is going underneath your calf muscle. You have 3 options here with your arms. You can be gently resting on your elbow. You can be sitting upright, pressing your hands into the mat. Or you can come all the way up here, hands in prayer. This is the most challenging because you're going to use your core and your side feet. Roll your hips forward. Your knee is pointing down towards that mat. We're gonna lift and lower that leg. Keep the knee in line with your hip. Lift, lower, lift, and lower. So intentional movement. So we don't wanna lift completely off the ball, and your leg may not even wanna lift at all. But what it is here is the intention of lifting. So you're squeezing the muscle. So rather than forcing it and jerking it up to get the lift, you wanna really just squeeze that side seat muscle. And if it doesn't come off the ball, that is A-okay. You're just moving that muscle, making it work hard. Keep that knee tilted forward so your hips are rolled forward. Now hold that lift at your highest point. Just pulse, just pulse. So smaller movements. Lift, lift, tiny baby pulses up. Your front leg is also working. You're pressing into the mat with your front leg, activating the side seat of this leg. If you're on your elbow, you're gonna get more range of motion, but less core work. That's okay if you're working up towards being more elevated. Just start where you're at. Roll that hip forward. Keep pulsing. Up and up. Good. Hold that pulse. We're gonna flex the foot now and press towards the back wall. Press back, press back. Still keeping that hip rotating forward, but just floating the heel to the back wall. Back and back. Maintain that lift in the leg. Keep it lifted as much as you can so you're still feeling it right here and right here. Pull back and back. Now put it together so it's one press back, one lift up. One press back, one lift up. Float back, float up. Good. Don't let that knee open up. Keep it pointing down towards the floor. You got it, girl. Back and up. Good. Float back, lift up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We've got one change left. Hold the press back. Arm comes out to the side. Crunch it up. Crunch. Up and up. Keep that knee tilting forward. Get that last little bit here. Pulse up and up. Yes, you can. Stay with me. Hang on to it. Crunch. Up and up. A little higher. Squeeze that muscle just a bit tighter. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Whew, take a little breather. Make your way back to standing. We're gonna get the other side. Oh boy. Turn to face your support. Feet are parallel, hip width apart. We're gonna place that ball behind the left knee this time. Flex the foot, soft bend in your standing leg, and then a slight fold over. We're gonna start right away with that full range, press back. So big movement here. This is where we wanna check in with everything. We're just gonna start to activate the bottom of that left seat. Wake up that muscle. Squeeze the heel in towards your seat, keeping the nice bend in the knee. Open up between your shoulders so you're not scrunching. Lift your abs. Flatten out your lower back. Place the hand there if you want to check in. Squeeze the bottom of that seat. Lift it high. Now lift it up to that highest point. Lift up, up, hold. 2 lifts, hold. Make it sharp. Up, up, hold. Good. Keep that muscle squeezing the whole time. You got it. Up, up, hold. Soft bend in your standing leg. Don't let it lock out. Hips are both facing forward. Up, up, hold. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now up to tempo. Lift it up and up. Lift and lift. Squeezing through the bottom of your seat. Lift and lift. Keeping both hips nice and square. Notice if one hip is dropping down, square them up. Pulse. Up and up. When in doubt, keep a little tuck in that tailbone to keep your abs nice and tight and your low back flat. Pulse up and up. Hold the pulse. Just squeeze the heel to the seat. Squeeze in, squeeze in. So it's a static hold in the bottom of the seat, keeping the leg lifted. Now we're getting that hamstring working too. Squeeze, squeeze. Even if you don't have a ball there, you're just still squeezing that heel to the seat. Squeeze and squeeze. Good, stay with it. Squeeze in and in. Now put it together. Here we go. One squeeze, one press up. One squeeze, one press up. Remember, you're using that glute muscle to make that leg move, not your quad. One squeeze, one press. Woo! Keep it up. One squeeze, one press. You're doing great. Stay with me. This is our last time standing for the morning. We're gonna hit the mat after this, and that's where we stay. Hold it center, hold the squeeze, hold the pulse. We're just gonna point that toe. Let's make those little tiny circles. Teeny tiny dime-sized circles, controlling that movement. Your booty should be super tight here. Good, keep breathing. And reverse it, other way. Teeny tiny circles. No arch in the back, keep it flat. Circle and circle. Last change is coming, here we go. Hold it center, just pulse it out. Just pulse up and up, this is it, final one. Pulse, up and up. Stay with me, we got this. Pulse, up and up. Lengthen through your neck, relax your shoulders. Last few seconds of work are coming up. Hang on to it. Pulse up and up. Here we go, last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Delicately and gently bring that leg down and make your way back down to the mat. Keep that ball where is that in your hand? Bringing your opposite leg in front of you. Whatever leg was just standing is gonna come in front of you. The leg that was behind you, it comes behind you once again. You're gonna place the ball underneath your calf muscle. Same options here. You can come all the way down to the forearm to get that full range of motion. Or you can come here, or you can be here. So wherever you're at today, rotate your hips forward. You wanna really think about angling that knee down towards the floor. Point the toe, and we're gonna just start with that full range. Lift and lower. Squeezing through the side seat. Activate this muscle here, this whole area, all the way up to your waistline. Lift and lower. Press into the front leg. Front leg is also working, giving you more support, helping you to sit more upright. So as you become stronger, you can come all the way here. So your obliques are working hard to keep you lifted, and your leg is lifting at the same time. Hold at the top, just pulse, just pulse. And if you really want to challenge, lift your arms here. If you're telling me like, this is not hard enough, I will always give you an option to make it harder. Keep that knee tilted forward, pull, up and up. Good, keep pressing into that front leg, lift up and up. Awesome. Hang on to it, keep pulsing, up and up. Yes, you can, stay with me. Breathe it out, lift and lift. Baby lift. All right, hold the lift. We're gonna flex that foot, float it to the back wall. Float that leg back so you're keeping it lifted. Very little weight is pressing on your ball if you're using that ball. Float back and back. Squeezing through the bottom of the seat here to get that little press back, and the side seat is still working. Back and back. Good, now let's put it together. Here we go, one press back, one lift up, one press back, one lift up, keeping the foot flexed. Pressing to the back wall. Notice if that knee is starting to open up here, keep that hip rotated forward. Good. One press back, one lift. One press back, one lift. Last change, here we go, hold the press back, outer arm comes out to the side. Just crunch it up. Keep that knee rotating forward, hips rolled forward, crunch up and up. You got it, girls. Stay with me. Stay with it, last 16 counts. Here we go, lift and lift. Press into that front leg. Maybe lift just a little higher for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, awesome, awesome work. Set your ball aside. We're gonna use the weight for abs and the boot band for back dancing. So grab your band, And grab your weights, go ahead and get them near you. And if you use that ball for back dancing behind your lower back, have that nearby as well. We're gonna start out with a seat stretch. So come all the way down to your back, figure 4 stretch. Flexing both feet, cross the right ankle over the left knee. And then exhale, gently bring the legs in towards you. If this stretch does not work for you, you can do any other seat stretch that feels good to your body. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's hips are a little different. So if it doesn't feel good to you, you can try a different stretch. You can do this one standing or sitting. You can do a pigeon stretch, happy baby, seated twist, whatever fancies you. All right, gently unwind and switch it over to that other side. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. And then exhale, gently bring it into that stretch. For me, one hip is like way tighter than the other. So I always have to be extra gentle on the tighter hip. So I'm not trying to like crank into the stretch because I'm like, hey, why aren't you like the other one? So just be delicate with yourself. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, just kind of melt into that stretch. Best time to stretch muscles is when they're really warm, like right now. Awesome job. When you are ready, go ahead and unwind those legs. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock yourself up to a seated position. Send the legs out in front of you. Cross the right ankle over the left. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, melt forward. Reach up and over as you come into that forward fold. And then slowly peel yourself back up. Let's switch sides. Cross the left ankle over the right. Inhale to grow tall. And exhale to melt forward. Awesome work. All right, we're gonna come into our ab work. This is a high C curve. So if you want that support of the ball and it's available to you, go ahead and place it behind your lower back and the floor. We're gonna plant both feet, leave a little space between the legs. So your legs aren't glued together. They're a little bit open. One weight on either side of you. Grabbing onto the backs of the thighs. Inhale to lift the chest. And then exhale, scoop the tailbone under and round so your low back is in that C shape. Hold the weights out in front of you. Relax the shoulders down. And we're just gonna start by pulsing back and scooping the tailbone under at the same time. So we're activating upper and lower abs. So it's like a pulse back and tip at the same time. Good. This is really gonna help us consciously keep that spine in a C curve. That's what we want, because that's gonna pull the abs in as we work them. We don't wanna press the abdominal muscles out from the body as we work them. We wanna pull them in. That creates a strong abdominal wall. Option for the weights or no weights. At any time you can gently put those weights aside. You will still feel the work. All right, hold that pulse. Tap, tap, open. Tap, tap, open. So you're bringing them together in the center and then come out to a T. Good. Resist the urge to come up out of your C curve as you come into that T. It's so tempting to lift the chest. Keep it back. Tap, tap, open. 2 more. Last one, hold it open, just pulse back and back. Arms straight out from your shoulders. Yes, airplane arms, you got it. Pulse it back and back. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Keep that tip in the tailbone. Little tip as you pulse back. Tip and pull at the same time. Good, we're gonna make a T shape with the arms, so bring them together. Lift overhead, lower, and open. Together, lift, lower, open. Good. Keep the abs engaged. Breathe in. On this last one, hold it overhead. Just pulse back and back. Keep those arms lifted high. Pulse it back and back. Pulse and pulse. Hold the pulse. Lower the arms to shoulder height. We're gonna twist and bring that right elbow towards the mat. Pull the arm across the chest, just like you're drawing an arrow back to shoot an arrow. Pull back. we're gonna pull. Right now, we're just moving all the way through. Good. Exhale as you twist. 2 more times. And here it comes. You knew it was coming. We're gonna pulse. Yes. Pulse into that twist. Use those oblique muscles. Make them work for you. Back and back. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come back to center. Other side. Twist. Excellent. Nice deep twist. Drawing the hand across the chest. Pulling the elbow towards the back of your mat. Exhale as you twist. On this last one, we're gonna come into our pulse. Here we go. Pulse and pulse. Stay with me. Pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rotate back to center. Set the weight aside. Set the ball aside. Come all the way onto a flat back. Extend your legs overhead. We're gonna get those lower curls. Here we also want to be very intentional. So you're just barely lifting those hips. Maybe they're not even lifting. Maybe it's just the intention of lifting them. But your lower abs are what you're tapping into here. Lift and lift. Lift up and up. Stay with it. Good. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Just lift. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the legs all the way down. Let's take a full body stretch here before we do our back jumping. Bring the legs all the way long. Point the toes down. Reach the arms overhead. Let's let the lower back arch off the mat here so you're feeling a nice stretch through those abdominal muscles. And spread your arms out wide. Spread your legs out wide. Take up lots of space here. Make a starfish. Take a big inhale. And then on your exhale, float your arms down by your side. Find your loop band. We're gonna place it around both thighs, just above the knees. And then plant the feet parallel, hip width apart. Shimmy the shoulder blades together. We're gonna lift up at the top and press out. So lower, lift, press out at the top. Lower, lift, press out. Here we wanna connect all 4 corners of the feet to the floor. So all 10 toes are gripping the mat and your heels are pressing down. Lower, lift, press out. Last time down, lift at the top, just press out and out. So you're using the bottom of your seat to keep the hips lifted and the side seat here to press out and out. Good, stay with me, press it back and back. Nice job, make sure you're working those lower abs here too. Keep them nice and tight, keep the hips lifted. Hold the press out. We're gonna tip side to side, tip side to side. That hip point is just tilting up towards the ceiling. Contract through your abs and your glutes here. Tip it side to side. Stay with it. Good. Continue to press into that entire foot here. Tip side to side. The more you press into the foot, the more you're gonna activate all the muscles in your leg. Hold it centered, just pull up and up. Notice the difference if you're just pressing your heels down versus your entire foot. Woo! Gonna get all those muscles turned on. Pulse up and up. Pull the pulse up. We're gonna come on to the tippy toes now. Here we go. Let's work those calf muscles. Halfway lower, lift, press out at the top. Halfway lower, lift, press out. Lower, lift, press out. Good. It's just a halfway drop, so keeping those muscles engaged the whole time. Nice work. We're almost there. Hold at the top. Just press. Just press. You're all the way on those tippy toes. Try to lift your chest towards your chin and then lift your chin towards the ceiling. So you're leaving space here between your chin and chest. Tip side to side. Hold the press out. Tip side to side. We've got one change left. Side to side. Hold the tip, just pulse up and press out at the same time. Pulse press, pulse press. This is it, final one. Pulse press. Good, make everything work here. Make it shake. 16 counts left, pulse press, pulse press. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You got it. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Set that seat down. Remove the band. Let's do our final stretches all together. Take that band, place it around the arch of your right foot, send your left leg long on the mat. Flex the right foot, bringing the toes in towards your forehead. And then holding on closely to your foot, you're gonna press into the band, lengthening through the back of that leg. Just work towards straightening that knee. It does not have to come all the way straight. Let your breath slow down just a little bit here. Taking nice long inhales. And then on an exhale, let that leg float over to the right side just a bit. Keeping the foot flexed, keep pressing into that band. And then let's cross over the midline, come over to the opposite side. Turning the big toe in just slightly. We're giving a nice stretch on the outside of that right leg. Bringing it over to the left. And then return it back down the midline, get it just a little bit straighter, a little bit longer. And go ahead and float your left foot up to meet your right foot, exchange the band. Send the right leg out long, holding on closely to that left foot. You can slightly bend the knee, flex the foot, draw the toes in towards the forehead. And then as you press into the band, begin to work towards straightening out that leg. Just working towards it, working on that flexibility. And then go ahead and let that leg float over to the left side, keeping the foot flexed. And then take it across the midline over to the right side. Turn the big toes in just a little. Nice big stretch down the outside of the leg. And then return it back down the center line. One more time, a little deeper, a little straighter, a little longer. And gently release, let the band aside. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Making some big circles here just to massage the low back. Or if that doesn't feel good for you, you can just rock gently side to side. Do what feels right for your body. And then we're gonna rock ourselves up to a seated position, taking a wide leg straddle. Sit up nice and straight and tall. Elongate through your spine. And reach up and over for that, for that side bend. That side body is extra sore today. Big, big reach. And then rotate the torso to the top of the thigh, nose towards your knee. And slowly bring it back up through center, switching over to that opposite side for a side bend. Keep the chest open. Gaze up towards your ceiling. And then rotate that torso to the top of your thigh. Relax it over, nose towards your knee. And slowly come up through center. Let's bring the legs together. Knees come in towards your chest. Hold on to the bottoms of the feet, the ankles, or the calves. And gently begin to work towards bringing those legs into a straight position, or somewhat like one. They can stay bent. And release. Point the toes down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. And we are done and done. Amazing job. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, Chang.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think my muscles are all jelly.
All right. Well, come to the gym tomorrow night. Are you going to work out in person at Laguna?
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay. All right. I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.